All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please join me for the flag salute.
Oh my goodness.
I got the flag. Wrong way. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States.
One
One
nation.
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
Okay. I will run through roll call. Councilman Humphrey,
Here.
Councilwoman Intrabartola,
Here.
Councilman Trapphagen,
Here.
Councilwoman Johnson,
Here.
Councilwoman Karsh,
Here.
Councilwoman Janine.
Here.
All right, we have here. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time, the place, the meeting, the proposed agenda, which notice was posted and made available to newspapers and filed with the clerk of the town of Clinton in accordance with section 3D of chapter 231 of the public laws of 1975. NJSA 10:4-8B authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings through use of streaming services and other online meeting platforms. Recently adopted Public Law 2020, Chapter 11 amends OPMA, Open Public Meetings Act, to clarify that in times of emergency, public bodies may vote, accept public comment, and cause a meeting to be open to the public via electronic means. The town of Clinton is using Zoom video meetings, which are also live streamed to Facebook Live at the town's Facebook page at ClintonNJ.gov. Please be aware that this meeting is being recorded for the public record. Both Zoom and Facebook Live are imperfect, so if glitches pop up, please be patient. We will address all questions and general comments after the governing body has conducted business and shared reports. We will take comments during the public hearing of any ordinances on the agenda. Councilman Mike Humphrey will be moderating questions and comments on Zoom and Facebook. Please use the chat feature in Zoom to indicate that you wish to be recognized for a comment. You can also type in questions. Feel free going forward to email councilmeeting@clintonnj.gov with any questions or concerns between meetings or questions you would like answered during future meetings. You must provide your name and address to be recognized for comment. We ask that you keep your device muted until called upon by council. The meeting's moderator may also mute participants. Mayor and council will respond to all votes using chat. As always, please send me a note at jkovach@clintonnj.gov or text me or call at 908-399-8921. Okay, with that, can I have a motion to approve? And Mike, you're going to manage the chat, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the regular council meeting minutes of March 25th?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, just signify with a yes in your chat. Opposed or abstentions? Okay,
We have 7 yeses.
thank you.
When
Can I-
you make a motion or second, say your name, please.
And can I have a motion to approve the March monthly reports?
So moved. It's Riley.
Mike, second.
All right, everyone, all in favor, please signify by yes. Opposed or abstentions, also in the chat.
Yeah, we're all good.
All right. Next is a resolution that we just added to the agenda, and I apologize for the late notice. We were going back and forth and with the state, but it is resolution 20-84. It's providing a 60-day grace period for the payment of water and sewer bills from the time period that the state of emergency was issued and currently through May 9th, which is subject to change by the governor. And this is just for water and sewer. Normally, everyone has a 30-day grace period. We're extending it to a 60-day grace period. Can I have a motion?
Megan, so moved.
This is Riley.
Second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please signify in chat by saying yes. Opposed or abstentions?
We have 6 votes. We have 7 yeses, Mayor.
Great, thank you.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yes.
If I click the little yes button, is that not sufficient? There's a little yes button. Does everyone have that?
Yes,
There's a little
think
yes
so.
button. There's a green, and it puts a green check next to your name.
Where is there a yes button?
Nobody
Well,
has
under
that?
the chat.
Okay, so there are two elements. There's the participant list and there's the chat list. The yes button is in the participant list,
Yeah.
but that
Oh.
doesn't, I can't get that on the record.
Oh,
I
okay.
see.
It's
But I
fine.
can,
I
but
just,
the,
if that
but
doesn't
the
work, it
cha-
doesn't work.
the chat downloads as a text, so we have a
Got it.
record. Yeah.
No problem. I'll type it in.
Gotcha.
No biggie.
All right. Is there anything, any comments from the public? Is there any public on the meeting? Do we have any public, Mike?
Kathy? I don't
Is
think
there
we have any
anything
comments.
from the public that's not currently on the agenda to discuss? All right, I just have, I'm gonna run through a bunch of updates that I've had over the last 2 days. This morning, Hunterdon County reported 255 cases. Age range is from 2 years to 100. There have been 5 deaths in the county, and the town of Clinton now has 6 reported cases. RVCC is going to be the testing site for both Hunterdon and Somerset. Right now, the county is working with Somerset County to establish the protocols and the criteria for anyone who wants to get tested. So it won't just be go to get tested, it'll be whatever the criteria that they've determined it will be. And we should be seeing what that is in the next week or so. If anyone needs to report social distancing violations, they should not be calling 911. They should be dialing 211 and reporting it through the statewide hotline or texting 898-211, the violation. Overall, EMS calls for the county of Hunterdon have doubled from March of last year to March of this year. The ShopRite of Clinton, I emailed all of you. It is now up on their social media page, so they have temporarily suspended shop from home. Friday is a town holiday, so the offices will be closed. Employees will not be in. We'll be working on a holiday schedule. However, recycling will still be picked up. Clinton Public School, their 3D printers are now working with records. Dr. Cohen sent the 3 printers to individual teachers, and those teachers are now printing the hardware for the face mask. The bridge on Main Street has blue lights for Autism Awareness Month for the month of April. I had forgotten that we had asked the county to do that, and I got an email that they had done it. So if anyone has an opportunity, take a ride to check out the blue lights. Let's see, there is a proclamation also in your folders online, which is for Global Youth Education Week, which is next week. And the National League of Cities has reported out that the next stimulus bill, which is a $250 billion bill, that would come back out to communities, and this would not have the HUD restrictions that currently the current bill has, which was why Hunterdon did not get any funding, because we don't meet the HUD criteria and we don't qualify for any of the CBDG block grants. So with that, that is all of the updates that I have. The governor did sign 4 more executive orders today. Primary is now moved to July 7th. As of right now, it has not been determined if it will be a vote by mail only. All non-essential construction will be shut down effective 8 p.m. on Friday, April 10th. We will be getting more clarification as far as what's determined to be a essential construction versus a non-essential construction, and limiting capacity at the essential retail stores to 50% of what the fire code capacity is. So if it's 100, they can't have more than 50 people in at a time. So we're just waiting for some clarification from the governor's office with those particular executive orders. And that is all I have. We do not have any correspondence, so we'll go to reports. Chief, are you on?
He's on mute.
Chief? Oh,
Can you hear me?
there he is.
There he is.
We can hear you.
You can hear me.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I'm playing with this thing a little bit.
No, we hear you.
You can't see me?
No, we can see you too. Well, at the top of your head.
Oh, I'll sit up higher. I don't know. There's a lot been going on with the police department and OEM. For you guys, I think you all should have got a copy of the reports for like the police department and OEM. There's been a lot of orders and adjustments made to both the police department and OEM. And there's been obviously a lot of executive orders that have come out from the governor's office and the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management. So I have been readjusting our advisements to simplify it for the public somewhat, because there's a lot of fluff in what the governor needs to produce versus what we need to put out for the citizens to be able to understand and comprehend what the message we're trying to get. So does anyone have any particular questions on anything, or?
Put it out
No.
to council. No questions? Look at that.
Okay.
Anything else?
There's going to be some, with that construction, that's going to be a new one coming out. So I'll have to adjust that when it hits. And I believe it's mainly going to target the non-essential construction. Basically what they said is going to be more or less focusing on if it's a critical infrastructure such as a municipal building, police departments, rescue squads, hospitals, stuff that really sustain what we need essentially. They're going to be able to work, but the ones that are doing like cosmetic stuff for a general building that's not necessary, like because it's allowed, what's happening is there's a lot of construction going on. I'll give you an example, Holiday Inn. They're doing some major renovations up there, and they might as well because, they're probably getting a decent deal on it. So that's what they're going to look to cut back because it's a substantial amount of people. Also, probably maintenance landscape is debate. There's some debate on what that's going to fall into, but basically, like stuff that really has no value to the community, such as putting a retaining wall up on your house. It's not going to be allowed, but we're waiting for that to come out exactly and to see what's going to be out on that. I did put out a fishing ordinance to try to address a little bit of, we have the most densely populated fishing area in the state on opening day. It's very busy. So we're going to try our best to be able to reduce that as much as possible. I did get pre-approval from the county prosecutor's office for a specific charge that we're going to use for that violation. I'm also going to go back at them tomorrow and get another pre-approval for a charge for violation of the executive orders for the county park system, such as the Lansdowne Trail. I'm anticipating that we're going to have people violate that. And just so you all know, we're really trying not to charge people. We haven't charged anybody with any violations so far, and I'm avoiding it like the plague. I know it's difficult. I know we're really infringing upon people's rights at this time in necessary circumstances, but we are trying to avoid that. But the time might come where we actually might have to issue summonses to get people to understand that we mean business. But we're going to take it on a case-by-case situation, and that's really about it. The charges are really relatively simple. Tara, if you have any interest or want to see that, I can forward what I got from the prosecutor and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. That'll be interesting, and I think help out actually some of my other towns.
Yep. Yeah, I have one. I actually drafted up an entire document on it and the actual procedure on what we're supposed to follow. I'll send it to you.
Great, thank you so much.
I have a question and in concern with the construction stuff. Does that also mean, like, besides the landscaping, like inside people's homes if they're doing projects? I know, like, having a plumber come in and fix something that's emergent is kind of different than, you know,
That's different.
redoing
Cosmetic stuff.
redoing
they-
your kitchen because
Right.
your home.
That is, the details aren't out, so I'm not positive on it,
Yeah,
but
that was
from
just
what I've
like,
understood. Yeah, well, we discuss this on our New Jersey core stat site every day with all the problems we're having from all the municipalities throughout the state. So we're seeing a lot of problems before they go out, but our problems we generate and we submit to the governor along with the mayor's committees and everyone she's involved with. They submit the same concerns, and then the governor figures out what, whatever he's going to take care of with that. But the construction is basically, if you've got a problem in your home, septic, plumbing, electrical, it has to be fixed. That's emergent and that's essential. But redoing your kitchen is not going to cut it. Now, I don't know how we're going to police that exactly, but
Right.
I have a question. I'm assuming road work, if this ties into any of the road work that we have planned, is that considered essential?
That's essential.
Yes.
Any construction that will be to support the safety,
infrastructure.
well-being, and the municipality, the hospitals, that type of stuff is all going to be acceptable.
Okay, thanks. My other question, Chief, is I didn't catch you about opening day of fishing. Is that officially canceled?
No, that's
They're
not
going to go
officially
through it.
canceled. Go ahead.
If they're going to have an opening day, even though all of the parks and we're trying to keep people off the river, right?
The parks, state parks and county parks are a different entity than the river. The
Okay.
river is a transportation right of way. We don't have, I do not believe we have the authority to restrict maybe access. Access we probably could, but we're not going to attempt to do that. I'm telling you straight up that we've encountered a few people and had to deal with them, and basically people like, hey, listen, I lost my job. I don't have any money. I can't feed my family. I need these fish to survive. I mean, is that everybody's answer? No, it's not. But I put out what we need to take care of the group as a whole if it becomes too much of a problem.
Okay.
And if the basically my rule of thumb for the guys is anyone fishing north of the dam north of the Main Street Bridge and the dam, you're not going to see 30 or 40 people down there. We're not going to allow it. And unfortunately, I've got to put an officer on to do this.
Yeah.
But we're really looking at maybe there might be a half dozen people in there if that's it. And if it gets out of control, we're going to tell them to leave. If they don't, we're going to issue them citations.
Okay, and then all the parks, that's the Lansdowne Trail in our area, and I know a lot of people from this area also try to go to the Gorge, but the Ken Lockwood Gorge is also included in that.
That, I believe, I'm not positive. I think that's a county park, the
I
Lockwood
believe
Gorge.
so.
But the
Yeah,
Lansdowne
Lockwood-
Trail definitely is. Basically, the property south of Route 78, the Lansdowne Trail past Fox Summer, as soon as you get south of 78, the Lansdowne Trail all the way down is included, and the property from the river, including the Lansdowne Trail, all the way up to our service road, that's all county parks land. All the
Okay.
way down to our sewer plant, they cannot fish there. Now,
Well,
we have not,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it was also local parks, so what about Hunts Mill?
We have not closed that as of yet. And my theory behind that is this, and this was a big part of the discussion when the governor was considering this, because he was collecting the law enforcement's information, sure the mayor also, and that is what kind of repercussions are we going to have if we close county and state parks? And he left up the municipalities parks, local municipalities, to the local municipalities, obviously. And our thought was this, is that us as a small town, we already have a tremendous amount of pedestrian traffic. Runners, walkers, hikers, baby carriages, skateboarders on our sidewalks, a lot. Now, by closing these trails, it's probably going to get worse.
Yeah.
As far as the county parks and the state parks. Now, if we take our municipal park away, it can make it even worse. Now, it may get to that point where we have to make a decision on actually closing the park.
Mhm.
But right now, we've been watching it. My guys went from traffic police to social gathering and social distancing police. They don't really get it yet either, but I keep trying to reinforce it with them. That's why they're making a lot of passes down to the park, and we're watching it. If it becomes a problem, we might have to shut our parks down. But I'm really trying to keep them open. I've talked to the mayor about it. I think it's in the public's best interest at this point to keep it open. Unless it becomes a problem, then we're going to have to close it.
If we can all maintain the social distancing, I'm sure you're aware of this, but next week is spring break for CPS, and if we get some nice days, I'm concerned. So I know you guys are on it. I know that some adults are better at social distancing than others, but children not so much. So, a kickball game, you may think you're away from each other, but you're kicking and picking up a ball that everybody's touching. So I'm just concerned about it, but I know you guys are watching it.
Our biggest problem that we've had anywhere has been Main Street. By far, it has been Main Street. We have not had any issues with the parks so far, but we're watching DeMont Pond, we're watching Gebhardt Field, we're watching Hunts Mill Park, and I told the mayor, let us just try and see what happens, see if we keep it open. If not, we'll pull the gate across, lock the stuff up, post signs, and keep everybody out if that's what we have to do.
Well, I was going to ask, can we proactively post signs like no ball playing, like no kickball, no soccer, like something of that? Because I think, like, I've even seen kids in my own neighborhood playing knockout basketball games, and they're not all living together. They're, I've got kids across the street who are in college who are playing, tossing footballs around. They don't live together. And we know that it's contact, they're touching and they're contacting, and that's how these things spread. And like Lisa said, I do have that concern that we're at this antsy point. We've been kind of locked down for a month. And I think if we do the due diligence of just saying, like, please respect the park. We know you want to be out, but you can't do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, just for walking, running, that kind of thing.
What we did was we put out that order on the parks and playgrounds. We removed the basketball courts, tennis courts. We allowed to stay open because they were, usually they're only played with 2 people, sometimes 4. And that's what we recommended. Picnic areas, pavilions, buildings, they're all closed. I can strengthen that order and say, restrict it further if we choose to. We have not had those type of activities going on down there. People walking dogs and walking and running. That's really all we have seen. So, we can't have a full-blown soccer game going on down there. We can watch it, or we can review it and think about how you guys want to, restrict the park, advise them even more.
Oh, and I think
Hopefully people will follow up and not, they'll keep observing social distancing. It's just, I know that it's kind of going to be a bottleneck where people are, they have fewer and fewer places to go. And so, that's my only concern in that in conjunction with spring break. So that's all. But I definitely, please, I don't want to take away more, but if we can't have nice things, then we can't have nice things. So hopefully everybody can just observe the social distancing and use it for what it's intended to, and use the walking path and be able to stay apart.
And I think it's important to note, I believe the mayor ordered all the picnic tables, et cetera, to be removed from the parks as well.
Or covered, at least. The ones that can't be moved aren't being moved. Yeah.
What about the step equipment in Hunts Mill? The stations?
We haven't done anything with those yet. That's another avenue if you want.
I'm not encouraging it, but I am saying that, you have more people with more hands and.
Yep. Well, you know what? People have to use a little bit of common sense and not lick the light poles and stuff like that. I hope, but
Wait a minute, I'm not supposed to?
I can't. Yeah.
No, Mike.
I hope. So honestly, the people we see back there, they're maintaining social distancing. It's not overly crowded. It doesn't look like like High Bridges Columbia Trail, which I run up there. It's a bit of a zoo, but we haven't had the issues yet. That's why we haven't tried to close the parks even further.
So just something else to note, the Delaware Water Gap is still open because that's a federal park.
For now.
So for now, we'll see what happens with that. I think you're going to see more people looking to, the big hikers are going to be heading up that way.
Oh,
Yes, Cory?
one other thing. The what's not covered by that is wildlife management areas. So a big portion of Spruce Run for us is a wildlife management area, and that's the whole southern border that borders the town of Clinton, which is 99% fenced in. But just so you know, that doesn't count as a park, state park, or a county park, because that's part of the Water Authority, and the Water Authority and Spruce Run are two separate entities. Because I spoke to one of the workers up there today, because a lot of people walk around Halsted Place and hug the fence up there, and they walk up there. So as of now, that's still open.
Okay. Anything else? Nothing else? Mr. Phelan?
Nothing more at this time, Mayor.
Okay. Ms. Olson?
Okay, no, nothing really. I mean, the staggered hours are working well in my office. Everything's getting done that needs to get done. Joy and I can both work remotely on certain things. So, we're holding it together there.
Sounds good. Seal didn't have anything, and I don't think she's got her audio working yet. Told her I'm going to go over to her house and get it working for her. We'll finish going through. Riley.
Yes, so you covered a lot of my reports.
Sorry.
That's fine. Just to reiterate, I'm very excited that the 3D printers were able to be used from CPS. So I'm thrilled to have made that connection and that that's working out. If people haven't seen, I know the governor mentioned in his statement today, he mentioned Raritan Valley Community College. So that was exciting that he acknowledged the hard work they're doing there. And I know our resident Brad Cohen is working hard to get his 3D printers involved in helping. And then also Paul Arnold's company, Megan, do you remember the name of the company? You're on mute. Anyway,
No,
his
but
company
let me see if I can find it.
is working to make the face shields as well. So I just wanted to acknowledge that because we have some residents. I'm sure there's other residents as well, and hopefully they'll put things out on social media and let everybody know what they're doing. But it's
Switlet Survival is the name of it.
For you
That's
guys,
it. Thank you. But I just wanted to acknowledge those folks and what they're doing because I think that's really important to recognize that. With that, the roads committee received, Tara, we have your email, your memo about the legal issues regarding the speed humps. And so we would like to, Rich, I think we're going to ask you to go ahead and circulate that memo to the full council along with the information from Bob Clerico that we all had, and ask the full council to have a look at that and come back, and we'll come back and talk about the issues going on in the neighborhood surrounding the speed humps, and we can all discuss that at this point. So that will be coming up hopefully for the next council meeting. Rich, if we can get that out
Sure.
pretty quickly.
I'll get it out tonight.
So if everyone could just read through the information and get up to speed, and we can talk about that at the next council meeting. Economic Development Committee, we haven't met yet. Our next meeting is technically scheduled for next week. So I'm hoping that we'll have a Zoom call set up and we can all, as I said, when did we last talk? All the days are blurring together at this point. We talked on Tuesday, Monday, I don't know. Whenever we last spoke, I said, I'm hoping we can all get together and start planning for whatever recovery we can put in place for our businesses and help them sort of set the roadmap to go forward. So I'll keep you all posted on what comes out of that. I'm, Mike, waiting for you to get back to me on the AARP grant, so we'll bring that up. And Mayor, we haven't heard back from from the gentleman about the economic, from the grant proposal that we were going to put in about the full economic proposal for the town, which is probably a good thing at this point. So we'll have to revisit that
Yes,
in the
thank you for the
future,
reminder.
potentially with another professional entity to see if
Yep.
we can move that ball forward with somebody else. And I suspect it will be a different looking proposal
Yes.
once we're out of this scenario. So everyone remembers we were looking to have basically an economic development plan for the entire town put together. And we had a proposal put in from someone, and that seems to have kind of fallen through at this point. And so we're waiting, I think, until we get out of the scenario we're in right now to look for another partner to submit that grant proposal for. So everyone agreed with the resolution. I'm not sure, it was several weeks ago. So just to keep you all in the loop, we're going to table that until we can find another partner to work with that's a little more prepared for this sort of scenario that we're in now, which I think is a little different than when we started out. And then we'll submit that proposal to the Highlands Grant Council and see if we can move forward. And then the only other thing I have is from the 7822 Coalition. They've mentioned a couple times a bunch of webinars that the Chamber and Economic Development Division from the county are putting out. And I know they had one today about mental health that was great. So I would just urge you all to look at those and keep putting those out and sharing those with the community. They're very helpful, and they have a ton of really interesting and useful information. So keep sharing those with the community if possible. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Ross.
Yes, I haven't had any committee or commission meetings yet, but Shade Tree will be meeting next week via Zoom. I don't know, Rich or Mike, I believe John reached out in terms of getting a Zoom set up. I don't know if that's happened yet.
I talked with John. He's all set up.
Great. So that'll be happening next week. Still looking for some confirmation on historic. For anyone who does do shopping at Costco, I don't know if anyone else has been down there yet. I did make my first official trek out to get a stockpile of groceries for the next few weeks. And I just want to, kudos to them. And if anyone is, weary about going, they are wiping carts as you go in. They have similar, I believe, to ShopRite in terms of having the marks on the floor in terms of distance when you're checking out. They have the barrier set up. So again, for folks who do go down there, they're doing a really good job and do have a good amount of things stocked on the shelves. So it was a good experience, and just want to pass that information along. And that's all.
Thanks. Someone want to say something? Thank you. Megan. Is Megan there?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, sorry, it was stuck. Sorry, I kept clicking, it wasn't going. Lisa, you can report on summer rec update if there's anything. Rec is supposed to meet on April 16th. From what Lisa and I are aware of, but we haven't heard about the Zoom hookup for them. I don't know if they've reached out to you, Rich, or to Mike. Okay, so we'll follow, Lisa and I will follow up on that. As for kind of community events, there was a big push out that we did this week with the healthcare heroes and our frontline heroes, and that was really well. I think kids did some really good artistic things as well as neighbors and such, and putting them out. And again, we thank everybody that's our frontline and fighting this battle with us. The next one that we're going to push out, and probably starting tomorrow, is tomorrow? No, tomorrow's when? Today's
Thursday.
I can't tell you, my days are so mixed up. I was getting on a Zoom call before. That's tomorrow, not today. I was like, oh God. But we're going to push out an egg hunt for the kids. So if residents would like to participate, we're asking, to hang them in the windows or on your yard for people to walk by and have some fun, kind of like what the Guild has done in the past, and have some fun with that. I feel like I had something else and I can't remember. Oh, I do have something else. I have, and I've spoken about it in our short meetings, but I do have some children's books around anxiety and working through kind of crisis situations. So I want to talk to you, Mike, and trying to do like live readings of these books on our YouTube channel, and also push it out through our council pages as to different resources for parents. These are just regular books that you can actually get, but just as a therapist, I have access. You know, I've had them and worked with children through these issues. And adults as well. So, I mean, this is a time where we really need to come together and identify where we're struggling with mental health issues. And I think this, you know, with this opportunity to kind of share knowledge and be supportive of each other, because it's hard to stay home and it's hard not to interact with each other. And, you know, we want to support our community. So again, if there is anybody in need, please feel free to, you know, reach out to one of us and hopefully we can get you the help that you need. That's all I have.
Thank you. Sherry.
Yes, Mayor. Roads Committee met last Friday virtually. We started reviewing, you know, the stormwater regulation changes in more detail. Our only current requirement is to adopt a new stormwater ordinance by March 3rd of 2021. So we have time. And we're going to comb through it and take our time and see what kind of changes, if any, we wish to make. And if we don't want to make any changes, we'll adopt the boilerplate ordinance and go from there. So that's coming down the pike. We've also been discussing applying for some grants for local road repairs. The good news is most of our roads are in really good shape. So there aren't a ton of places that would fall into categories that would be accessible for these grant applications. But we are making a list of any areas of town. So if anybody has any spots that they know of that need some TLC with some grant money, let anyone on the roads committee, Lisa, Riley, or myself know, and we'll add it to the list. And that's all I got.
Thank
Oh,
you.
friendly reminder, no land use board this month. I keep saying it, but I don't know, people still ask me, so just nothing in April. We're shooting for May 5th, and we'll see how that goes.
Sounds good. Lisa?
Hello, Mayor. I do not have that much to report, just that we are not going to have our trip meeting. I believe I might have said that at the last one of our morning meetings, but I figure reiterate it as at an official council meeting. We're not having our summer recreation trip meeting. We're not sure when we're going to be rescheduling it right now. As of now, summer recreation is still planned. It's still a go. We're just waiting to see what is going to happen in terms of our governor and our president and what is decided as far as when we are allowed to return back to school. So stay tuned for that. The communications committee is working on a pamphlet for our seniors because we have discussed that they really are kind of out there in terms of isolation and don't have a lot of access sometimes to the messages that we're putting out on social media, and even in email sometimes. So Councilman Humphrey and I, along with the rest of the communications committee, are working on a pamphlet to get some of the most important information out there. I've just sent it over to Councilman Humphrey. We'll be hopefully getting that out within the next week or two. And just a reiteration, I did send, and I sent it again just in case because I have had some glitches with internet access. The protocols, they're not official protocols for posting to social media for council, but just sort of friendly suggestions as to how to best push out messages that we never really needed before, but in times of a crisis seem to make sense. So I've pushed those out again to Janice and to Mike. Just take a look at. So once you do and you think they're apropos, we can send them out to the rest of council so that we're all on the same page. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Guess what? It's time to talk to people about newsletters, newsletter articles. It's okay without a lot being done. We can use the space to talk about things that the town has done or will be doing regarding COVID and other emergency issues. But it is a good time to talk to people if they do want to put an article in, to start thinking about it, because we will be asking for them at the beginning of next month.
Hey, Mike, when's the next newsletter go out?
It's the June newsletter. We try to get it out like the last week of May, so it hits last week of May. No one wants an event that says June 1st and he miss it because the newsletter came out on June 3rd.
So what's your due date for articles?
Beginning of next month, if possible.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, if people are lacking something, I can understand. So we'll do another districts post tomorrow for the business directory. We have 38 businesses listed, and I think that's working really well. Let me talk real quick about the Zoom meeting. So I worked with John Kasich as an example to set him up for the shade tree. Anyone who hosts it, if I'm not involved with it, the only main thing you have to pay attention to is actually taping the meeting if it's a commission or a board. Okay, and I could take you through that if I'm not part of it, or whoever's the chair, whoever is going to be actually doing the running the meeting. I'll take them through the process so we can save that and put it into our record. Environmental Commission is going to meet next Monday, April 13th via Zoom. And that's it, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. And what?
I have
have a
a
question?
question about seniors. So we have a couple seniors just on our block that need their lawns mowed. And I don't know if due to social distancing and landscaping and such, they hadn't been done. So my husband has gone out. So I don't know if maybe there are kids around that, want to help out or something, just because I think, some people are having a tough time right now, and maybe that's something that we can look into, especially since spring has just sprung and people need their lawns mowed. It's something maybe we can push out through seniors, or maybe post on if we can find some people to volunteer. I was just thinking, because my husband did our lawn, then he ran across the street and did another lawn, and, was just helping out some seniors in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we can add that to our list if somebody needs, if there's something. The Mr. Fix-It program covers a little bit of that, but that I'm not sure how active that program is right now. I've not been in touch with the senior center to find out, if they're really engaging that during COVID. So, but we can put in an item on the pamphlet that goes out that if, they're looking for things like that, we'll try to match them with someone who's looking to volunteer.
All right.
Mayor,
Anything else, Mike?
oh, sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
Are you done, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I just remembered one other thing I wanted to mention. I was gonna, I happen to have a list of local farms and farm stands that are doing curbside delivery of vegetables and fruits and things and that kind of stuff. So I was gonna put that together to go with the rest of the information we have on the website. So Mike and Lisa, I'll get that to you guys to put up. But if anyone has other information to add to that, if you could send it to me, that would be helpful, just to include, so we have as much of a complete list as possible. Just so trying to add resources, especially now that ShopRite is not doing shop from home. I know some people, may find that to be useful information, and also just to hopefully spread people a little bit, so not everyone kind of floods to the store at the same time. I know I was there tonight, and I do want to say ShopRite was doing an incredible job. They moved people in and out of the store in a wonderful, seamless kind of way, but it was crowded and there wasn't a ton of stuff left. So, just one other way of gathering information and getting it out to the public. So I have that and thought it would be a useful piece of information for people.
Thank you. That's good. Definitely something to add. All right, and Kara.
I think you covered everything. We'll probably be in our next council update. I'm sure we'll have a couple more executive orders or advisements coming out of the governor's office to bring to everyone's attention.
I'm sure we will. This is just the beginning, I think. So as of right now, we're still scheduled for a Friday 10 a.m. Zoom meeting just for updates. I was planning on keeping that just so we could kind of go into the holiday weekend if with anything new that we might have at that point in time.
Good thing you said that because I thought it was Thursday. I'm telling you, my days are all just like ringing together.
Yeah,
No
did
idea
anyone
what
see that meme that the weeks are now this day, that day, which day?
I call every day
Okay.
Thursday. Every
I know.
day
Yeah.
Thursday.
I thought today was
Monday-
Thursday. And then I
All
said to my
Thursday.
husband, I was like, oh, isn't that disappointing about Round Valley? When are you going to mountain bike? He's like, I haven't mountain biked in like 3 weeks. I was like, really? I thought you were there last weekend. He was like, no. I'm like, literally, no idea.
That's
Hey,
what happens.
I just, did anyone get a chance to see your videos and see you being superstars today?
Yes, I wanted to say that to
You guys
you.
did great job.
Assembling
You're
that.
so good.
Great job, Mike. That
No,
was- it
Oh,
was
you
really
guys
nice.
did a great job. So
No, stop. You're so good with that. And you're awesome. Really.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, everyone. All right, so next is, can I have a motion to approve standby and overtime for the week 320 to 4/2?
Sherry, so moved.
Megan, second.
All right, everyone, this is actually a
Oh.
roll call vote, so everyone. Mr. Humphrey?
Yes, well, we can do do it
Okay.
out loud. That's fine. We can do it out loud. I say yes.
Let me know that
So I'm just typing it in. So
everyone got?
no, we only have 3, 4. We have 7 yeses.
All right, great. And can I have a motion to pay the bills?
This is Riley, so moved.
This is Lisa, second.
All right. All those in, well, roll call, but yes. All those opposed or abstaining?
7 yeses.
Great. Anyone have anything else before we adjourn? All right, with that, everyone have a good night, and I'm sure I will talk to most of you tomorrow, but we will be back on Zoom on Friday morning.
Good night.
Meeting
Good night,
meeting adjourned.